Caitlin Clark on the Olympic team?
Right now?
No, no. This past Olympic team.
I knew you were going to ask this question. Honestly,
Caitlin Clark's Olympic hopes now rest with SNUBBED, a WNBA veteran. While Clark represents the game's new wave, fans are divided.
Don't let you make it seem like Caitlin Clark was averaging 5 points a game. At the time, she was still averaging 16 points a game, which was more than a lot of other guards that made the team.
Many believe that's exactly why Caitlin Clark was left off Team USA's 2024 Olympic roster, a move seen by fans worldwide as a major snub. She had the stats, the impact, and the star power. Clark took Iowa to heights no one imagined and brought millions to the game. She was the kind of athlete the Olympics usually celebrate, but this time it wasn't enough.
People say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle.
Caitlin Clark's global popularity could have brought massive attention to women's sports, and that's exactly why some think the old guard shut her out. Just like in the WNBA, where her rise sparked envy, some feared she'd steal the spotlight on the Olympic stage. But after winning Rookie of the Year, setting 62 records, and being named Athlete of the Year, leaving her off the team again would seem unthinkable. Only this time, it's not a committee deciding. It's one person.
SNUBBED is expected to be announced as the managing director for the USA women's national team for the 2028 Olympic cycle. She will take on what is known as the Grant Hill role, selecting player roster.
Caitlin Clark's Olympic fate is no longer in the hands of a committee. It's now up to one person, Sue Bird. As a respected figure from the WNBA's old guard and the new head of Team USA's women's basketball, her decision carries weight. Though Sue has praised Caitlin before, fans are uneasy. She's been unclear, and Caitlin hasn't been fully open either. That silence worries people, especially after Clark's Rookie of the Year title, 62 records, and game-changing popularity. Her 2024 Olympic snub left fans stunned. She had everything: stats, impact, and star power. So now the question is, will history repeat itself? Let's break down the clues that could hint at what Sue's next move might be.
I know it's the most competitive team in the world, and I know it could have gone either way of me being on the team, me not being on the team, so...
Caitlin Clark just endured the most turbulent week of her young career, capped off by her shocking Olympic snub. Days earlier, she was on the receiving end of a hard, controversial hit from Kennedy Carter, a moment many saw as more than just rookie treatment. 4 weeks, Clark had been getting roughed up, and it was taking a toll. The transition to the pros wasn't just physical, it was personal. Then came the headline no one expected. Clark left off Team USA's 2024 Olympic roster. It wasn't just disappointing, it was the most debated decision in women's basketball history. Fans weren't just upset she was excluded, they were furious because her numbers outperformed several players who made the cut.
Look at how she played up until that point. Chelsea Gray had only played 1 game before she went to the Olympics. She was outplaying Diana Taurasi. Was she outplaying Diana Taurasi at that point in time that she was on the team? It's a simple yes or simple.
Naturally, the backlash was swift. This wasn't just about a questionable roster decision. It was a PR disaster. Caitlin Clark was bringing unprecedented attention and energy to the game, and leaving her off the Olympic team felt like a major missed opportunity.
It's respectful to leave Caitlin Clark off the Olympic roster.
No, I don't think it was disrespectful to leave Caitlin Clark off the Olympic roster. She is not one of the 12 best professional basketball players in the United States of America right now.
Supporters, analysts, and even casual fans recognized what was at stake. This was a golden opportunity to grow women's basketball on a global scale, and it slipped away.
Not putting Caitlin Clark on the U.S. women's basketball team is one of the biggest failures of basic business that I can remember ever seeing in the modern world of sport.
We're talking about a player who shattered rookie records, sold out arenas, and brought in record-breaking ratings. Yet when the biggest international stage arrived, they left her behind.
You claim you want the women's game to grow, and then you keep the most popular girl in women's basketball off the team. Now, how do you grow internationally and domestically if you don't put her on the U.S. team? It just makes...
Many saw Caitlin's Olympic exclusion as intentional. Her popularity was too much for the old guard to handle. She was too well-liked, and the attention she drew was undeniable. But they weren't ready for her prominence on the international stage. Not yet, anyway. However, this moment marked a turning point in her career. The cheap shots, the disrespect, and the Olympic snub fueled her fire. Caitlin didn't just recover, she leveled up. After Kennedy Carter's cheap shot, she added muscle, grew stronger, and took her game to new heights. She returned more focused and sharp than ever. While many still refused to admit it, it quickly became clear the selection committee made a huge mistake. Caitlin wasn't just the top rookie, she was one of the league's elite players.
Dumb? How brain dead? How idiotic do the people running this thing have to be? It was one thing after another with her. I don't ever want to hear you complain about flying commercial or not getting salaries or this.
Caitlin Clark made the most of her chance to face Team USA in the All-Star Game, broadcast live to basketball fans worldwide. She showed exactly what was missing from the Olympic squad. After grabbing a rebound, she took her first minutes, and wow, did she make an impact. With 3.4 million viewers tuning in, the broadcast set a new record. Caitlin dominated, controlling the pace, sinking shots, and dropping assists. She belonged on that stage. Even Dawn Staley, a legendary figure in women's basketball and Team USA's head coach, had to acknowledge it. It might have been the best thing that could have happened, even if none of it earned Caitlin Clark a spot on the Olympic team, where she clearly deserved to be. When Caitlin finally got some rest, she did what Caitlin Clark does best. She came back stronger. It wasn't just about relaxing. She took the time to recharge and then returned with a vengeance. After the Olympic break, she averaged 23 points per game, shattered the WNBA single-season assist record, earned Rookie of the Year, and was named to the All-Star First Team. Her career in the league shifted during that pivotal week between June 1st, when Kennedy Carter struck her, and June 8th, when Team USA left her off the Olympic roster. That storm was fueled by fire, and fans believed the conversation was over. By the next Olympic cycle, Caitlin would be a lock. But then, this happened. When Sue Bird was named Team USA's general director, fans of Caitlin Clark grew anxious. Sue is a legend, but she's from the old guard, the same generation that hasn't fully embraced Caitlin. Her interviews after the appointment raised more questions than answers, leaving fans uncertain about Caitlin's spot. Sue Bird is being diplomatic as expected. She's a respected legend, deeply ingrained in the elite group that has long controlled Team USA. And let's be honest, favoritism plays a role. It's not just about roster spots. It's about loyalty, relationships, and politics. Players who've been part of the system longest often face quiet pressure to be protected. Fans who remember the last selection weren't reassured by Sue Bird's diplomatic comments or her endorsements. Many feared Caitlin would be overlooked again, with Sue, an old guard member and UConn icon, favoring her alma mater's players, those who've paid their dues and may resent Caitlin's rise. It's hard to blame that skepticism. Caitlin had the numbers, the spotlight, and the story last time, yet was still excluded in favor of players with less attention and lower production. It didn't sit right, fueling paranoia. But since Sue isn't always bound by old guard traditions, maybe we should give her some leeway here. Sue Bird stepped in when Caitlin Clark was shockingly left off ESPN's list of the top 5 women's college players, just because she hadn't won a title. Sue made it clear, Caitlin is undeniably one of the best of all time. You can't leave her out of the top 5, let alone the top 3. Her comments weren't just praise, they were a strong statement. Becoming an all-time great isn't only about championships. As Sue said, Caitlin carries her teams. That's the key. You want Caitlin on your roster. Her worth is undeniable. But the worry remains. Not everyone sees it. Caitlin's fame isn't fading, it's growing. She drew 1.3 million viewers for a preseason match against Brazil, a team most casual fans couldn't name. And how was she treated? Like royalty, photos, autographs, and admiration. It wasn't just a preseason scrimmage, it was an international event. The way the Brazilian players approached Caitlin, the crowd's response, and the cameras following her every move, it was history, not hype. She would bring that same intensity to the Olympic stage, elevating the competition, not just Team USA. That Iowa game was a glimpse of what could happen when Caitlin Clark hits the biggest stage in the world. This brings us to Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe. No matter what you think of the old guard, Neither Sue nor Megan is intimidated by Caitlyn's spotlight. On the contrary, they embrace it. They know, better than anyone, the power star players bring to a sport. Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe know Caitlin Clark's impact. They see her drive and the global influence she'll have. While Sue can't fully speak out, there's no way Caitlin can be left off the list. In 3 years, with an MVP and a WNBA title, it'll be undeniable. The shift is happening. Players, media, and the league are embracing the Caitlin Clark effect. Sue already has. That's the player you want on your side. If you're still here, drop a basketball emoji in the comments. Thanks for watching.